Cleveland Browns reporter Tony Rizzo just went off on live television. And honestly, he said exactly what every Shedeur Sanders supporter has been thinking for months now. He didn't hold back. He didn't soften his message. He didn't worry about being diplomatic or politically correct. He looked at the camera and asked a question that should have ended this entire debate before it even started. Do you know any other organization that would take a rookie quarterback who got 0 first-team reps whatsoever in training camp, throw him into the fire against the Lions, watch him somehow survive that beating, and then go on to win 3 games, including the last 2 against divisional opponents? And we're still sitting here talking about who should be the starter. Then he dropped the line that had Shedeur supporters everywhere nodding in agreement. Get the F** out of here. And you know what? He's absolutely right. Think about what Shedeur Sanders actually accomplished last season. He walked into a situation where he had never taken a single snap with the first-team offense. 0 reps. No chemistry built with the starters. No time to learn the system at game speed. And they threw him into the NFL meat grinder against one of the best defenses in the league. Most rookies would have folded immediately. Most rookies would have been overwhelmed by the speed, the complexity, the sheer physicality of professional football. But Shedeur didn't just survive. He adapted. He learned. He improved. And by the end of the season, he was winning games against teams that had been preparing for him for weeks. 3 wins, 4 losses, but those 3 wins came against legitimate NFL competition. And the last 2, divisional opponents, teams that know each other inside and out, teams that don't give anything away for free. And Shedeur beat them both. He put up 400 yards. He earned a Pro Bowl selection. He showed poise under pressure that most veteran quarterbacks never develop. And somehow, there are still people questioning whether he deserves to be named the starter heading into training camp. Tony Rizzo isn't just frustrated, he's exasperated. He's watched this situation unfold and watched the media create controversy where none should exist. And he finally said what needed to be said. But while Tony Rizzo was expressing the frustration that fans have been feeling, Todd Monken said something that might be even more important. Something that, if you read between the lines, tells you everything you need to know about who's actually going to be under center when the season starts. Todd Monken was asked about how reps would be divided during training camp, how the competition would work, whether all 3 quarterbacks would get equal opportunities to prove themselves. And his answer was revealing. He said the reps won't be divided evenly, not even close. He said they're going to allocate reps based on what we've seen and how the year ended last year. Think about what that actually means. How did last year end? Shedeur Sanders was the starting quarterback. Shedeur Sanders won the last 2 games of the season. Shedeur Sanders showed enough promise that the organization decided to build their entire offensive philosophy around him heading into this season. That's how last year ended. And Monken explicitly said that's what they're going to use as their guide. He didn't say they're going to start from scratch. He didn't say everyone's on equal footing. He didn't say it's a completely open competition where anything can happen. He said they're going by how last year ended. And last year ended with Shedeur Sanders as the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Monken also mentioned something else that's crucial. He talked about allocating reps to the players we feel give us the best chance to win. That's not neutral language. That's not everyone gets a fair shot language. That's we're going with who we believe in language. And if you've been paying attention to what Shedeur has been doing this offseason, you know exactly who that is. Monken noted that Shedeur has been in the building a bunch over the last few months, working out, putting in the time, showing up when nobody's watching, building the foundation for what's coming next. And then he said something about Dillon Gabriel that should tell you everything you need to know. As far as Monken is aware, Gabriel has not been in the building. Let that sink in for a second. The quarterback who some people are suggesting should be competing for the starting job hasn't even shown up to voluntary workouts. Meanwhile, Shedeur has been there every single day, putting in the work, building chemistry with coaches, preparing himself for the moment when the season officially starts. And Monken noticed. He specifically called it out. He made sure everyone knew who's been committed and who hasn't. That's not an accident, that's a message. G. Bush broke down Monken's comments perfectly, and his analysis should be required viewing for anyone who still thinks this is somehow up for debate. He went through Monken's statements piece by piece, decoding exactly what the head coach was actually saying beneath the surface-level words. Who ended the season? G. Bush asked. Shedeur Sanders. Who's been in the building? G. Bush continued. Shedeur Sanders. Who met Todd Monken on day one? He answered his own question. Shedeur Sanders. And then he pointed out the obvious about Dillon Gabriel, the guy who some people are suggesting should somehow challenge for the starting job hasn't even shown up. He hasn't been in the building. He hasn't been putting in the work that Shedeur has been putting in every single day. G. Bush then made a point that should resonate with anyone who's been following this situation closely. If this was the opposite, he said, if Shedeur wasn't showing up and Dillon Gabriel was the one in the building every day, we know exactly what would happen. The media would be all over Shedeur. They'd say he doesn't want the job. They'd say he's not committed. They'd say he's not doing what he needs to do to be the starter. But the tables are turned. Shedeur is the one showing up. Shedeur is the one putting in the work. Shedeur is the one building the foundation for success. And what's the response from certain corners of the media? Mary Kay Cabot went on 92.3 The Fan and suggested that Shedeur showing up early is somehow him, trying to buddy up with Todd Monken. She even brought up the horse he bought as if that's somehow relevant to his ability to play quarterback. You can't make this stuff up. When Shedeur doesn't show up, they'll criticize him. When Shedeur does show up, they'll find a way to criticize him for that too. It's a no-win situation with certain members of the Cleveland media, and G. Bush called it out exactly as it is. If the tables were turned, G. Bush said, they would have definitely made it a big deal if Shedeur Sanders was Dillon Gabriel right now. And he's absolutely right. The double standard is obvious to anyone who's paying attention, but that double standard doesn't change what's actually happening inside the building. It doesn't change the work that's being put in. It doesn't change the direction this team is heading. And if you need any more proof that this situation is already decided, you only need to look at what Myles Garrett said. The best defensive player in the Cleveland Browns organization was asked by Michael Parsons a simple question. Who's going to get the first shot at being the starter? Who's going to lead this team onto the field when the season begins? And Garrett's answer was immediate and clear. Shedeur Sanders. No hesitation. No, we'll see how training camp goes. No, it's an open competition. Just a straightforward answer that tells you everything you need to know about what the players in that locker room already understand. When Parsons asked for clarification, Garrett explained his reasoning. That's the way we ended it, he said. Simple, direct, unambiguous. The team ended last season with Shedeur Sanders as the starting quarterback. That's the reality. That's the situation they're carrying forward. And the best player on the team knows it. The locker room knows it. The coaches know it. The only people who seem confused about this situation are certain members of the media who have been pushing alternative narratives for months now. When Myles Garrett speaks, people in that building listen. He's the leader of that defense. He's the guy who's been carrying the team for years. He's the one who's earned the right to have his opinion matter. And his opinion is clear. Shedeur Sanders is the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. That's not speculation. That's not rumor. That's a direct quote from the most important voice in that locker room. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room that certain media members keep trying to pretend isn't there. Deshaun Watson. Todd Monken said Watson has a great chance to redeem himself. He acknowledged that Watson has worked hard through 2 surgeries. He said the organization respects the effort Watson has put into his recovery. And all of that is true. Watson has worked hard. He's come back from injuries that would have ended most careers. He's put in the time and effort to get himself back to a place where he can compete. But here's the reality that certain media members don't want to acknowledge. Watson hasn't been seen in the building. There are no stories about him working out at the Browns facility. There are no reports of him building chemistry with receivers or studying film with coaches or doing any of the things that Shedeur has been doing every single day. Monken's comment about Watson having a chance to redeem himself is exactly what it sounds like. It's a chance. It's an opportunity. It's not a guarantee. It's not an entitlement. It's not a handout. Watson has to earn everything he gets from this point forward. And based on what we've seen so far, based on who's been in the building and who hasn't, based on who's been putting in the work and who hasn't, the path forward is clear. Monken also said something else that's crucial. He said they're going to allocate reps to the players we feel give us the best chance to win. Let's be honest with ourselves. Based on everything we've seen, based on the performance at the end of last season, based on the work being put in this offseason, who gives the Browns the best chance to win? The answer is obvious to anyone who's been paying attention. Watson's presence on the roster is about depth. It's about having a veteran arm in the room. It's about having someone who can push Shedeur in practice and help him develop. It's not about taking the starting job away from the player who earned it. And anyone who suggests otherwise is either not paying attention or deliberately ignoring what's actually happening. Now here's where I need to be honest with you. As much as I believe Shedeur should be named the starter right now, as much as I think Tony Rizzo is absolutely correct in his frustration, there's actually something to be said for the competition angle. I know that's not what everyone wants to hear. I know some Shedeur supporters want the job handed to him immediately with no questions asked. But I actually think the competition is going to make him better. When you have to compete for something, when you have to earn it every single day, when you know someone is pushing you from behind, it brings out a different level of focus. It brings out a different level of preparation. It brings out a different level of determination. Shedeur Sanders has already proven he can win. He's already proven he can perform under pressure. He's already proven he belongs on an NFL field. Nobody who's watched him play can reasonably dispute that anymore. But having to compete, having to show up every day and prove he's still the best option, that's going to sharpen him. That's going to make him better. That's going to prepare him for the moments when the season is on the line and he has to deliver. I believe Shedeur will beat Deshaun Watson with his eyes closed. I have that much faith in what I've seen. I have that much confidence in the talent and the work ethic and the preparation that Shedeur brings to the table every single day. But I also believe that having to go through the process of competing, having to earn the job rather than having it handed to him, is going to make him a better quarterback in the long run. Tony Rizzo wants the announcement made now. He wants the distraction eliminated. He wants the team to move forward with clarity and purpose, and I understand that perspective completely. But I also understand the value of competition. I understand what it does to a player's mindset. I understand how it sharpens focus and eliminates complacency. Shedeur doesn't need the job handed to him. He's proven he can take it. He's proven he can earn it. He's proven he can keep it. And that's exactly what he's going to do. So let's bring this all together and look at the complete picture. Tony Rizzo exploded because the situation is frustrating. A rookie quarterback with 0 first-team reps won 3 games, earned a Pro Bowl selection, and finished the season as the starter. And somehow, months later, there's still debate about whether he deserves the job. Todd Monken made it clear that reps won't be divided evenly. He made it clear they're going by how last year ended. He made it clear they're allocating reps to players who give us the best chance to win. He made it clear that Shedeur has been in the building while others haven't. G. Bush decoded all of it and pointed out the obvious double standard that exists in Cleveland media. When Shedeur doesn't show up, they criticize him. When he does show up, they find a way to criticize that too. It's a no-win situation with certain voices, but it doesn't change the reality inside the building. Myles Garrett already confirmed what everyone in the locker room already knows. Shedeur Sanders is the starting quarterback. That's how they ended last season. That's how they're moving forward. Deshaun Watson has a chance to redeem himself, but that's exactly what it is. A chance, an opportunity, not an entitlement, not a guarantee, not a handout. And the competition, it's going to make Shedeur better. It's going to sharpen his focus. It's going to eliminate any trace of complacency. It's going to prepare him for the moments that matter most. The writing is on the wall. The direction is clear. The decision has been made. Shedeur Sanders is the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Everything else is just noise.